So in this segment, we're going to be talking about Starmer calls for an extra windfall tax to freeze energy bills, and he's actually come up with some policies, the mad lad. Finally, after the joke that he came out with over the weekend about kind of cutting money for prepaid meters, which is important to do that, but it wouldn't even make a dent for the average person. Starmer's actually come up with some okay policies, mediocre at best, especially given the fact that it's going to freeze energy prices where they are, which is untenable right now. The energy prices right now are too high. October it's going to be a disaster. Starmer said families would not pay a penny more on their energy bills this winter under Labour's plan to tackle the rise of cost of living. The Labour leader claimed his proposal to save the average household £1,000. That's only if the energy price rise it happens. The package would be paid for in part by a big increase in tax on oil and gas company profits, which one of Labour's key issues are they have to show that these things are costed properly. Economists said the plan would cost as much as the furlough scheme if it was extended beyond this winter. The government has said it announced what it says as £37 billion of support, which is, that is more than the furlough scheme. I think the furlough was around the £32 billion mark. So the government's plans already go above, I think, the furlough scheme. It's just ridiculous. Outgoing Prime Minister Johnson said he's making sure that there is extra cash for his successor, meaning he's not going to do anything because he doesn't care. The two contenders for the top job, Sunak and Truss, have indicated they're not keen on extending the windfall tax on oil and gas companies, maybe because they see a future in those sectors, I don't know, or freezing the price cap, meaning it's unlikely to happen unless they have a change of heart. So what Labour have done is they've stolen the lead here, and they've offered some decent-ish policies which are going to really put pressure on the Tories, especially as the leadership campaign goes on. Labour's intervention serves as a challenge to both leadership hopefuls to say what further support they may offer and how they would pay for it. Because at the end of the day, Labour have said, look, we've costed our scheme, we're going to help people, the ordinary person who's struggling with their energy bills, and the Tories have got nothing. They're playing catch-up again, and that's what Labour should have been doing from the start on all of this stuff. The party says its plan would be paid for in three ways: backdating the windfall tax to January and accounting for higher oil and gas prices, raising $8 billion, dropping the £400 rebate and other pledges made by Tory leadership candidates to raise $14 billion. The only problem is that £400 would go a long way to help people as well, but it goes to everyone. The other issue is that it can go to landlords instead of the actual tenants, which we saw for the council tax rebate. By reducing inflation with lower energy bills, leading to a cut in government debt interest payments by about £7 billion. So again, that one's fine. There's a bit more here. Economists warn it's delaying borrowing costs rather than saving them. They say that stopping the subsidy would push up inflation. Borrowing costs, I'm not sure. I think they're talking about Labour here in this context. It's a bit tricky to figure out. But when they talk about a subsidy, would say that stopping the subsidy would push up inflation. I'm not sure which subsidy they're actually talking about here, but this is generally about the Labour Party here by the looks of things. And you've got in a graph form how Labour would raise the money. The main reason for a high inflation is soaring energy bills. It's also caused by the supply chain crisis, but Labour aren't ready to talk about Brexit, so we won't. Starmer also said he would have to assess the situation in April, but Labour's plans were about helping people through the winter, and that's it. You don't have to come up with these policies in the next election. I watched Phil's video on this. I don't think it was his best because he doesn't come up with Labour, he's policy blind in my opinion. And if people want me to do a specific video on that, I don't mind doing that. But point being is that what Labour are promising is how to get through this current situation, which is fine. He added further measures to reduce inflation may be needed by next year, and argued in the medium term that Labour was calling for further measures to bring down costs such as insulating homes for millions of people, which is also a good policy. I remember I think it might have been under New Labour, because I was quite young when I saw the vans, but there was a scheme out there where if you were below a certain income threshold, the private companies could effectively get your insulation done, and the council or the government would pay for it. It's a very good scheme because I know I spoke to some people and they actually got it done, and it helped them out a fair bit. They got insulation for free, which hopefully is helping them now. The new Labour leader rejected claims he has been missing in action, saying he had been working on his plan for weeks. I don't think that's true. I don't think they've been working on it for weeks, I'll be honest with you, and would not apologise for going on holiday with his wife and kids. I mean, there's nothing wrong with going on holiday, but during a crisis, is it a great idea, especially when you're meant to be a government in waiting? Can you really do that on holiday? This is the first time we've had a holiday for about 3 years, which, okay, it's fine, but who cares? Oh, look at me, I haven't been on holiday for 3 years. Johnson's on holiday every other week. Doesn't stop him. Is the idea of freezing the price cap is backed by the Lib Dems and the SNP, which is fine. But this is where, you can see here in the winter the price are going to go very, very high. It's going to go higher than this. with certain people predicting it could hit the 5k mark, because Ofgem haven't actually fully announced what the price cap will be in future. But this is where it counts, because now you're going to have journalists going to politicians and saying, look, Labour have these policies, why can't you do them? You already nicked the windfall tax, why can't you do anything else? And this is actually good work from Nick Ferrari here, so I have to give him credit. I know I'm very harsh on the man, but credit where it's due.
Chairman of the Conservative Party, but when it comes to this energy plan or energy crisis, you lot are Manchester United and the Labour Party of Brentford, aren't they? You are taking such a kicking. None of you got an idea to bless yourselves with. Keir Starmer comes out, solves the problem overnight. So Keir Starmer and Labour suggested a windfall tax. The government finally adopted it. The Labour Party suggested taking VAT off energy bills. Rishi Sunak now wants to do this. They are in the lead. Every time Conservatives follow up behind, don't they?
I mean, like I said, he's stolen the lead here. Starmer has stolen the lead on the Tory party, because you've got people like Nick Ferrari who are pro-Tory. You know, in my opinion, I think he's pro-Tory. He's saying, look, he's saying, look, Starmer's made you look stupid. He's made you look dumb. You know, what are you guys waiting for? You've nicked his policies. Are you going to take these ones as well? I think credit where it's due. He's done a good job. He's called them out. Starmer's policies, I don't think they go far enough. But I'm always going to say that because, again, he's a centrist candidate. He's never going to go as far as he needs to go. He's going to be, just boring, quick, pragmatic solutions that are going to help people, to a small extent, but it'll be better than the Tories, and that's what they'll run on. Not bad, but not great, if that makes sense. But anyways, I'm going to leave it there. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Support the channel on Patreon if you can. And hopefully I'll see you in the next one.